This cup of coffee might be the key to finally learning guitar without relying on sheer willpower. If you're trying to learn guitar later in life, you've probably heard your fair share of advice. And let's be honest, it's not always helpful. You gotta practice, practice, practice. But what should I practice? Trust me, you won't get better if you don't practice. You have to learn your scales. But why? Because they're important? But I just want to play here. Memorize all these chords, and then you can start playing music in a couple of years. Wait, don't most songs just use a few chords? Why do I need to? You have to pay your dues before you have any fun. That's just life. Well, I'm happy to say you don't have to listen to any of this BS. Over the last decade, I've had the pleasure of teaching over 40,000 guitar students online. There's a link in the description if you want to check it out. And since most of them are around retirement age, I've learned something that most traditional teachers never talk about. Learning guitar later in life is not the same as learning guitar when you're 16. Yes, it comes with its own challenges, but it also comes with some huge advantages that younger players simply don't have. The key is understanding the 3 rules for learning guitar late in life. These 3 simple shifts will help you take the pressure off, enjoy the process, and actually stick with it. And it all starts with rule number 1. When we're young, we pick up the guitar dreaming of playing like Eddie Van Halen. And let's be honest, maybe impressing that someone special. Okay, one of those might still be true. We also have what feels like unlimited time and attention. And most importantly, we haven't really gotten good at anything yet, so we have zero fear of sucking. But as adults, it's different. We've spent years getting good at things. We've built careers, skills, and identities. We're competent in most areas of life. So when we try something new, something where we're suddenly bad at it, there's a real risk to our ego, our confidence, and even our identity. That's why so many adults fall into perfectionism. If we can't do it perfectly, then why bother? So when we see an 8-year-old prodigy shredding on Instagram, or Tommy Emmanuel casually ripping through classical gas on YouTube, we don't feel inspired, we feel defeated, because we're measuring ourselves against the end goal. And that's the biggest mistake you can make when learning guitar. Mastery is a myth. Everything we see online makes it seem like learning guitar is about mastery. Like the goal is to wow an audience with your licks or reach some imaginary level where you've made it. But here's the truth. You don't need to master the guitar to experience the joy of playing it. We're not trying to be Tommy Emmanuel or Trey Hensley. The real joy of guitar comes from competing with yesterday's version of you. If yesterday your F bar chord was a buzzy mess, but today it's just a little bit cleaner, you win. That's it, that's the game. So rule number 1 is don't focus on mastering the guitar. We live in a world of instant gratification. We buy into guitar because we love the idea of playing music, but then we get discouraged when we realize how far away we are from mastery. The common belief is you have to put in years of hard work before you can start having fun. That is wrong. You can have fun every time you pick up the guitar, and when you do that, you'll actually stick with it. And here's how. Play things that you love. If it feels like work, cut it out. Ditch boring exercises. No more endless spider walk drills. Learn a lick from one of your favorite songs instead. Redefine success. Stop comparing yourself to the greats. Compare yourself to yesterday's you. The goal isn't to be perfect. The goal is to play, enjoy, and keep coming back. Because when you stop chasing mastery and start chasing fun, that's when the real magic happens. Now on to rule number 2. When you're first starting out as an older learner, adding a guitar routine to your day can feel impossibly difficult. Why? Because your habits and routines are already set in stone. You wake up, follow the same morning rhythm, go about your day, and without even thinking about it, the hours disappear. This is called cognitive entrenchment. It's when our well-worn mental patterns make it harder to introduce something new. Learning guitar isn't just about your fingers, it's about breaking through those deeply ingrained routines. And that's why most people fail. They think they just simply need more willpower. That if they really wanted to play guitar, they'd magically carve out time and just do it. But that's not how habits work. The trick isn't to fight against your routines, it's to use them to your advantage. Here's how to make guitar practice automatic. Let's use drinking coffee as an example. Think of your brain as a dense forest. Your daily habits, like making coffee in the morning, are well-worn paths that you walk every single day. Learning guitar, that's like trying to carve a brand new trail through thick, untouched brush. If you try to force your way through with sheer willpower, you're gonna get tired, you're gonna get frustrated, and you're gonna give up. Instead, use habit stacking to connect your new guitar habit to an existing path. Here's how. Identify a habit you already do daily. Let's say it's pouring your morning coffee. Attach your guitar habit to it. Right after pouring your cup, sit down and play for 10 minutes. and repeat. Over time, your brain starts wiring these two habits together. Coffee equals guitar. This is called neuroplasticity. When two actions fire together, they wire together. At first, you're gonna have to think about it, but before long, grabbing your guitar after your coffee will feel as natural as reaching for the sugar. And just like that, you've built a routine. So rule number 2 is start with the tiniest daily action. Why do tiny actions work? Not an hour of practice, not an entire lesson, just one small achievable step. Inside Tony's Acoustic Challenge, our tiny habit is just sitting down in front of your computer with your guitar. That's it. Because when you commit to the first tiny action, the odds of not playing are almost zero. Small actions lead to big results because once you start, momentum takes care of the rest. Now let's move to rule number 3. Most guitar players hit a point where they feel like they're not getting any better. Maybe you've been playing consistently, but it doesn't feel like your skills are improving. Or worse yet, you start wondering if you're just spinning your wheels. That feeling is dangerous because when progress feels invisible, motivation disappears. And what happens when motivation disappears? The guitar starts collecting dust. But here's the thing, just because you can't see your progress doesn't mean it's not happening. You just need a way to prove it to yourself. I remember talking to a member. Let's call him Dave. Dave had been playing every day for 3 months, but one day he emailed me and said, "Tony, I don't think I'm improving. I'm still struggling with chord transitions and I feel like I'm in the exact same place as when I started." So I asked him, "Did you record yourself when you first started?" He hadn't. So I told him, "Do me a favor, record yourself playing a song today and then dig up the oldest video you can find of yourself playing." A week later, he emailed me again. "Holy crap, I had no idea how far I'd come. My rhythm is smoother, my transitions are faster, and I don't sound nearly as stiff as I did in my first video. I thought I wasn't improving, but I just wasn't paying attention to how much better I'd actually gotten." That's why this step is so important. If you're not tracking your progress, you won't see your progress. And if you don't see your progress, you'll quit way before you should. This is why every 90 days you need to stop, look back, and recalibrate. Here's exactly how to do it. Step 1, reflect. Before setting any new goals, take a second to acknowledge your wins. What's better today than it was 90 days ago? Did you nail a bar chord for the first time? Did you play more consistently than ever before? Even if it's something small, like smoother chord changes, write it down. This isn't just about patting yourself on the back, it's about proving to yourself that you are improving. Step number 2, set a goal. Now ask yourself, what do I want to do better in the next 90 days? Maybe it's playing a song from start to finish without stopping. Maybe it's getting comfortable with finger picking. Maybe it's just showing up more consistently. Pick one singular, clear goal. Step 3, break it down. Big goals are overwhelming, so break it into 3 milestones. First, a fast start milestone, something you can do today to get moving. For example, maybe print out the chord chart of a song that you want to learn. Number 2, midway milestone, a checkpoint at 45 days. For example, be able to switch between all the chords smoothly in that song you want to learn. And then lastly, the final milestone, what success looks like at the end of 90 days. For example, play the entire song while keeping steady time. Step number 4, adjust your routine. Here's where most people go wrong. They set a goal, but don't change anything in their routine to actually reach it. If your goal is to get better at rhythm guitar, are you spending enough time strumming in time, in rhythm? If you want to improve finger picking, is that built into your daily routine? Your guitar routine should reflect where you want to go. Step number 5, plan for roadblocks. This part is critical. Life will get in the way. Work, family, burnout, it happens. But instead of letting it derail you, plan for it now. Ask yourself, what's the most likely thing that's going to knock me off track? If you get busy, commit to just 10 minutes instead of skipping a day. If frustration creeps in, remind yourself that improvement isn't always visible, but consistency pays off. If you miss a day or even a week, don't try and play catch up. Just pick where you left off and keep going. So that's rule number 3. Look back to leap forward. Every 90 days, take 10 minutes to go through this process. Reflect, set a goal, break it down, adjust your routine, and plan for setbacks. If you do this, you'll never have to wonder if you're getting better. You'll know that you are. Because when you look back, you'll realize just how far you've come, and that's what keeps you moving forward. So let's go ahead and recap. Rule number 1, don't master the guitar. Stop chasing perfection, just compete with yesterday's you. Rule number 2, start with the tiniest daily action. Build a fun, tiny habit that fits into your life. And rule number 3, look back to leap forward. Reflect, adjust, and celebrate your progress every 90 days. Simple, right? But what if there was an easy way to make sure you actually stick to these rules? What if you had a built-in tiny habit with a 10-minute daily guitar challenge? Constant reminders to focus on fun and not mastery. A 90-day guitar enjoyment audit to see your progress and stay motivated. That's exactly what you'll get inside Tony's Acoustic Challenge, the only program where older beginners learn guitar through nostalgic music without boring drills or rigid practice routines. Click the link in the description to join our guitar family.